Ladies and gentlemen, we've had a lot of great villains in soap opera history, but today we're going to be talking about one of the best and one of the few Canadian-born villains of the 1980s. Of course, it has to be Mikos Cassadine. Now, Mikos Cassadine, played by John Colicos in the early part of the characterization, before Steve Richard Harris did kind of a flashback version in 2021. Now, Colicos was only on this show in the 1981 campaign. Now, Mikos Ivanovich Cassadine, again, is a fictional character on GH. He was portrayed by John Colicos from August 10th, 81 to September 18th of that year. Now, although only there for a few short weeks, his impact literally was felt on the show for years to come, as his widow put a curse on Luke and Laura, which we're still feeling in 2023. He was characterized by, again, one of the GH's greatest villains of all time. In the summer of 2006, however, it was rumored that the show was considering recasting the role with daytime legend Joseph Mascolo. However, Mascolo returned to his famous role as Stefano De Mira on NBC's Days of Our Lives, which had a lot of what they call physical comparisons to Mikos. On April 8, 2021, Steve Richard Harris portrayed Mikos in flashbacks during a special episode focused on his daughter, Alexis Davis. Now, Mikos Cassadine, according to some critics, was the face of evil, hell-bent on world domination, similar to many comic book supervillains in pop culture. The Cassadine family were introduced and created by executive producer Gloria Monte. Over the years, Mikos has been painted as a vicious tyrant, very controlling all his children. His personality is similar to that of his widow, Helena Cassadine, originally played by Elizabeth Taylor and now played by Constance Towers. Now, in August 81, Mikos appears on a private island Greece with several of his business associates, including his brothers Victor and Tony. Mikos presents his plan to use the world's largest uncut diamond, the Ice Princess, to power his weather machine and force the entire world to bend to his will, and allow him to rebuild the world in his own pure, perfect image. The first step of his plan is to freeze the world, starting with Port Charles, the hometown of Luke and Laura Spencer. By freezing Port Charles, Mikos could bring the world to his knees and force his leaders to do his bidding. Mikos refused to negotiate with the World Security Bureau, or the WSB, and lowers the temperature in Port Charles so low that it is declared a disaster area. However, the machine malfunctions, killing Tony and Alexandra Quartermain, along with others. However, Mikos remains. Luke and Laura, an WSB agent, Robert Scopio, break into Cassadine compound to stop Mikos, and during a struggle with Luke, Mikos is frozen to death after falling in his own ice chamber. Luke is able to shut down the machine using the Ice Prince's password, and Port Charles is safe. Victor, unfortunately, sent to prison. However, Mikos' murder at the hands of the Spencer clan would affect the family for years to come. Now, the feud between the Cassadine and Spencer families started quickly after Mikos' death. His widow, Elena, decides to take revenge on Luke and Laura, and for years she has tortured them, all because of her plans to avenge the murder of her husband. Now, Mikos and Helena's controlling ways are often mentioned as a reason for the family being so screwed up. Their oldest son, Stavros, in 83, kidnaps Laura Spencer, forces her into marriage and to marry son Nicholas. Their other son, the gentler Stefan, is looked down upon for not being more like his brother and parents. Stefan also has a thing for Laura, but he's killed by Luke in 2003. In the 1990s, it was revealed that Mikos had an affair with a Swedish opera singer, Christine Bergman, who bore him two children, Natasha and Christina Cassadine. When Helena finds out about the affair, she kills Kristen, forcing Mikos to send his daughters into hiding. The infant Christina is put up for adoption, while Natasha's name is changed to Alexis, and Mikos lies, claiming she is daughter of his late sister Sophia, and raises her in Greece with his sons. In 2009, Helena reveals that Mikos had another bastard child, the evil Valentine, who had been disowned by Mikos years earlier. Valentine is essentially meant to cause more trouble for the Spencers and even the Cassadines. However, the storyline is dropped. Mikos and Helena are also believed to have another child, Irina, who was shot to death by Helena in early 2012. Though Helena claims Irina as her daughter, was never stated that she was fathered by Mikos. Okay. Now, Mikos' tyrannical spirit also affects his grandchildren, most significantly his daughter, Sam McCall. When a 16-year-old Alexis got pregnant at boarding school, Mikos forced Alexis into giving Sam up for adoption. Mikos then forges a death certificate to make sure Alexis can find her daughter. Now, So the machinations of Miko started in 1981. We're 2023, 42 years as we're going. Now, in 2016, Valentin Cassadine finally makes contact with the family, killing off his nephews Nicholas and claiming the Cassadine fortune for himself. Valentin reveals that he was shipped off to boarding school in Bedlington, England, when he was around 5 or 6 years old and never returned home. Now, John Colicos, the actor, once said in published reports he felt he was going to be typecast by being on a soap opera like this, and I think that's maybe why he was pretty well killed off early. Now, we know him from obviously one of the first Klingons on Star Trek, Battlestar Galactica, which had a great role as the evil human affiliate with the Cylons, and also the Big Night Gallery episode we've talked here before. But John Colicos, again, one of the most underrated actors in Canadian history, and he gave gravitas to the Cassadine plot because he had, it's like Joan Collins with Dynasty. Not say stunt casting, but if you saw John Colicos playing Mikos in that short while, you know that he put everything in that part. The 5 or 6 weeks he was on the show has had impact for the fans of GH for 42 years. And the Cassadines are probably one of the most evil families in soap opera history because of the duration. They've been 42 years causing shit, either directly or indirectly. And again, Constance Towers again said in published reports, he said when she portrays Helena, she can feel, the characterization of the whole family run through her. You have to take it from the perspective, she said, about being evil not only for themselves, but trying to dominate where they've been dominated before. Like, it's almost like they're using fear because they're scared themselves. Constance Towers' version of Elena has never been humanized, not like Elizabeth Taylor's character was many years ago. She had her human side in a scene she saw with Luke Spencer and Robert Scorpio. Not with actually Helena is more horny in this version, but an evil horny. That's even possible. So that's a quick story of Mikos Cassadine and the dastardly Cassadine family, the short version. If you like what you're doing here with our General Hospital podcast, let us know with a like, comment, subscribe, or share. And don't forget, General Hospital at the time was the closest that soaps ever got to James Bond style plots. And most of them made absolute sense because evil people out there. And you know something, not to sound weird, you look at the plot of Scarface and other movies like that in the 80s, not saying you ripped off General Hospital, but that evil family or evil group of people, it was popularized through the Cassadines and General Hospital. Good versus evil, that's always going to get viewers. Thanks for listening. Bye.